Hi there. Welcome to the biweekly Clerk Chit Chat WebEx recap for December 14th, 2023, which was held today at 1 p.m. So, in today's session, we went over some important dates, looked at data management as it pertains to the data champions. That is clerks at schools who have little or no errors in their PowerSchool based on when we ran the report. We looked at the Schoolman tracker, provided some PowerSchool updates, discussed duplicate stored grades, as well as the out of sync report. We touched on document delivery and the need to prepare for progress reports. And for today, we sort of, ran out of time. So we had a lot to cover and it was a great session. So thank you to all the clerks who attended. So the important dates are as followed. Today we had our chit chat session. And on December 19th, progress reports will go out. Then on the 21st is a 1 p.m. early dismissal. So back to progress reports. Progress reports need to go out even though we just had parent-teacher conference on the 7th. So the cycle started on November 10th. So we are like midway in quarter two. And so we need to provide progress reports to our parents so that they can be aware of how their students are doing and we can take corrective actions to, provide support, give them any warning notice if students are going to fail so that everyone is on the same page in terms of their students' progress. All right, so that's it for the dates. And yeah, happy holidays. We probably won't have another chit chat before the end of the school year, the end of the year. So we do wish everyone a happy holiday season. Okay, so this is just an image of the marking period calendar. It is accessible from the district's website, and you can see, again, progress reports need to go out on December 19th. The data champion. So before each major meeting, we run the SLT data error reports. And since October, we have a set of schools that have always been on this list. They have had 0 errors every time I run the report, 0 errors in their PowerSchool. And so these are the list of schools that had no errors when I ran it on December 8th. So the schools are in the East Ward, Wilson Avenue, and as you can see, a number of North Ward schools. Dr. E. Alma Flagg, Dr. William H. Horton, Elliott Street, First Avenue, Louis Munoz, Marin, Park Elementary, Ridge Street, Roberta Clemente, Salome Urena. Special schools, Early Childhood North, and 14th Avenue. And so those schools that are highlighted in green have always been on this list. So I just wanted to give special kudos to those schools and the PowerSchool clerks who have been maintaining the data with 0 errors across all of there are 9 reports and categories that we ask schools to, maintain the data. And so, they range from the entry exit code errors, making sure that there are no overlapping enrollment. My brain is freezing right now, but there are about 9 categories of errors that we ask schools to take care of because that information ties into everything else, right? Ties into the bigger picture. So all errors have an effect. So if students don't have their correct entry codes and entry dates, that can result in their state IDs, especially for new students, being delayed, which impacts their ability to take our assessments from our testing team. And then with data being delayed or inconsistent or incorrect, our data team is unable to provide correct data and reports to the district. So there are departments such as teaching and learning who needs to see how many students are in, different programs, how many students are in our bilingual program or our special ed program. The enrollment team need to see who's where so they can make sure that we are assigning students to the correct school location based on the numbers that are in each school. And so all the data ties in, and everybody needs this data to make some type of critical decision. And so it's important that it is maintained. And so again, we thank the schools that have consistently maintained their data throughout the school year. All right, so getting into data management, we wanted to remind clerks to take a look at the enrollment seat tracker. And this document shows you the number of students that are either in schoolment and need to be synced. So there are 3 categories of errors: those that are in green, red, and orange. The ones that are in green means no action needed. There is 0 gap between the number of students who are in schoolment versus those who are in PowerSchool. The numbers that are in red means that you need to check to make sure that there aren't students in your PowerSchool that need to be released, right? So might be they need to go to another Newark school, or they're just transferring out. So we want to make sure that those students are taken care of. And then those in orange, make sure that they are in PowerSchool, and if they are in the registration verified or registration completed process, or re-enrollment verified or re-enrollment completed, that they are synced, right? And there is a process to do that, right? How to sync, how to check to see students who have not been exported. We want to make sure that the information is exported to PowerSchool, so that information is synced over. All of their contact information is synced over correctly to PowerSchool. So don't just create the record and then make the student active in PowerSchool without syncing the information over. So take a look at the tracker and see where your school is on that list. All right, so routinely we do updates in PowerSchool, whether it's on a maintenance day where PowerSchool is not available during certain periods or certain days. And then we also, go ahead and fix certain reports and certain issues sometimes. So Alex has been working on the student program in PowerSchool to make sure that information that is in EdPlan is syncing over correctly, such as the program type codes. And he also made sure that, especially with the PSD, that the categories are specified. So before, there are certain categories that were not available. So he made sure that all the various categories are available for you to select the student's special ed placement. And then the special ed validation homeroom report was updated. So we're asking schools to look at your special ed students on the NJ State Province, NJ tab, NJS Special Ed. Look to make sure that the information is correct. If there's a student that is missing any program tab code, you can go ahead and update that information and run the special ed validation report to see if the information is coming out correctly, and report any errors or discrepancy to us, and also communicate with your child study team to, if there's information that you need or you need to clarify. All right, speak to your child study team once you've communicated with them, and if there's anything that is not correct as it should, please reach out to myself or Alex Alvarado. All right, so in terms of report card, as I mentioned before, we had our first parent-teacher conference on December 7th, and so report cards went out. Hopefully you had no issues, all your grades were on point, but if you didn't, we want to double check those overlapping enrollments. We want to check duplicate stored grades and check your honor roll. So if there were any issues, reach out to us. We're here to help you resolve any problems that you may have. We found that there were some students who they transferred out of a school or a classroom after the cycle ended. However, we found that some students still had grades or blank grades stored for the new class that they were in. So in those situations, there are a couple options, right? So if they're coming from a previous school, you can check their historical grade, make sure that the new teacher transfer those old grades into his or her grade book, because at the end of the school year, we want the student's final grade to include any previous grades that they've had, right? So they can transfer those grades into their grade book. And then you can also update the historical grade, the blank historical grade at your school with the grade that they got from the old school. So that is one option that you can utilize. The other option is to, delete any blank grades that were generated at your school. No. So once you create a manual override of grades at your school for Q1, when you run that out of sync grade report, you will see grades appear on there because you added information to the grade book after restore grade. So keep in mind there are multiple steps and multiple processes you need to do in those situations, and oftentimes it's just one or two students, so it's not a difficult process. And if you need help, contact myself, Dr. Izad, for the elementary school, or Pat Pontiero or Babu Elementary, both of them in the high schools. All right, so duplicate grades, how to find the duplicate grades. So as this is supposed to be just a recap, the information on here shows you where you can go to find the duplicate grades. I am not going to go into PowerSchool and try to show you how to do it, but because I do know, I am very confident that you know how to do it. We do have a few new clerks. Every now and then I hear, a clerk say, I'm new to this position. So if you are new and you need support, reach out to us. Our PowerSchool support website, I will go to it definitely at the end to show you where you can find some of this information. But you can find the duplicate grades by running two ways to run the report. The first one is through SQL reports, historical grades, duplicate store grades. So this was the only way that we could have done this process before. And we now have a new way you can do it, and that's through the PSCB dev reports, grading, stored grades. So this report just has a better interface because you can filter, you can sort the information, but they give you the same set of data. All right, so those are the two ways you can find your duplicate grades. Out of sync grades. So you can find out which teachers have made changes to their grade book since we stored grades on November 30th. So you can do that by going to PSCB Dev, grading stored grades, and just look for these sections: grading, PT Pro gradebook, and then gradebook out of sync grades. So you can run that report. You can see if teachers reduced any grades or increased any grades, and find out if it's correct. If it's not, they can do a historical override and put the grade back to what the stored grade was, or they can, if the grade that's in their gradebook now is correct, then they will need to do a historical grade change form and have an administrator update the historical grade. So historical grade is the stored grade that we captured on November 30th. So complete that form, and someone at your school needs to complete that historical grade change so that both grades are the same. So how to delete duplicate grades? You run the duplicate report. You go to the student's profile, go to historical grades, open up one of the grades, verify that the grade is the one you want to delete, right? So if you're coming from another school, you should see the name of the school, the teacher, and the grade. If it's a blank grade, again, still verify which one of them you want to delete. If they were in one section and now they're in another section, still verify which section they're supposed to be in and the blank grade that needs to be deleted. Let's see. Document delivery. We set it up for report cards. We need to set it up again for progress report. And you do that by going to school on the left side of your PowerSchool. Look for the heading that says Digital Document Delivery and then click on Document Delivery. You're going to make sure the Enable Document Delivery box is checked. Update the subject. So you probably have Q1 report card listed there. So now you will want to update it to say Q2 progress report, and then you're going to update the message. So the same document that we have on our support website that shows you the list of messages that you can copy and paste. You find your school and copy and paste the message that reflects progress reports into your document delivery, and that's it. So when it's December 19th, you would run your reports for your students and schedule document delivery to go out. Okay, so I think this is the last thing on the agenda. As we prepare for progress reports, we encourage our administrators and school support staff who support teachers to still do their due diligence, right, to make sure that the grade books have assignments, comments if necessary, right? So especially if a student is failing Q2, we want to add those comments to it so that parents are aware that they get a warning that it's possible that their child may fail quarter two, right? Let them know so that we as a school can support and the parents can advocate and get resources that's necessary prior to seeing a failing grade at the end of quarter two. Okay, so last thing, we are going to send out some information in principal points about contacts and how we're going to maintain contacts going forward. And we're going to need your assistance and your help throughout this process. So we want to prioritize the contacts that are listed in PowerSchool. We want to make sure that a mother or father is listed as the custody and that each person listed has some type of permission. Like, why are they on there as a contact? Are they allowed to pick up a child? Are they an emergency contact? So what permission do they have as it pertains to the child? And then at least one parent needs to have data access. So data access is important because going forward, we want to be able to share information through various communication tools and platforms. And we want to make sure that at least one parent has an email address, and they should have already started that process with the document delivery. But there are still parents without emails. And so we want to make sure that we formalize this process, and we will need your help to complete this. So I think that is it. I did promise to share our PowerSchool support website. So this is our PowerSchool support website. You can get to it from the Newark Board of Ed website under Employees and PowerSchool Support. On here are resources related to PowerSchool. So if you click on PowerSchool, that will take you to everything pertaining to PowerSchool. If you have new teachers, I recommend that you share the Power Teacher support link with them. It has some great tutorials and resources. And we are also asking that you utilize the SIS support submission form for any issues that you have, any request that you need. Utilize the link that says SIS support submission form. We will get your request and one of our team members will process it in a very timely manner. So that's it for the recap for December 14th PowerSchool Clerk Chit Chat WebEx. Thank you and have a great holiday again. Bye-bye.